Hey folks, Evil DM Podcast. I am the Evil DM. This week we're going to be talking a little bit about homebrew adventures versus pre-made modules that you can buy out there. I know during the classic edition of Dungeons & Dragons and first edition, second edition, and third edition, and even fourth and fifth at this point, there are modules that they had made. When you get more towards the fourth, and I'm probably going to say fifth, they started moving away from modules to maybe adventures. I know Paizo called them adventure paths and gave you a little more freedom in them. And that's one of the reasons why I never picked up on any of the classic modules from classic D&D or first edition, because I didn't like the fact that you were shoehorned into following this certain path and this certain way to do things. I was always the type of DM that likes to plan out his own encounters, plan out his own hooks, and I go by bullet points and reactions. I'm a reactionary DM, like I've said many, many times. I don't like to just, have a certain path and have the players have to be forced to go on that path. I like to present a various amount of options and hope that the players pick up on one of them and move forward with the option that, works best for the campaign. With that said, the pre-made modules that are out there are excellent and done really well, but like I said, when I sense that I've ran modules before and my mind is just all over the place when it comes to them, because I start to worry during the middle of an adventure, are the players getting bored? And when I start seeing players get bored is when I go off the rails of these pre-made modules and start throwing in all this crazy, wacky shit that people are just like, whoa. And then I could see the excitement coming back into players as they're just like, whoa, what the frig is this? And they're more intrigued by it. I like throwing out situations where it makes a player wonder, what the fuck is this going on here? What is he thinking? What is he throwing at us? And as opposed to someone just sitting there, yeah, I search, okay. So that's kind of the reason why I prefer the modules where you can make them yourself. I like to sit there and plan them out as far as, this is the town, this is what you can see in the town, but not exactly what's going to happen in the town. And I'll have these little different pathways to go with bullet notes of things I want to happen during the adventure, and not just exactly allowing them to just go one certain way. And it usually works out pretty well. You can listen to the World of Arcanus podcast over on iTunes or whatever podcasting platform you want. You can see my style, or you can listen to the Book of Sorrows, which is up there as well. That was my first Advanced Dungeons & Dragons actual play out there that I did back in 2009-10 when Roll for Initiative was first on the air. I ran that one for a little while, and it was a pretty good, pretty fun time. It was really wacky. People enjoyed running around in the crazy world of my mind as I made shit up and threw it at them. One of the players in that was Crispy, who was playing Trask, and people did seem to take to that nicely, and they liked his character quite a bit. So if it continues, you can check that. Well, it's never going to continue, but you can go on to iTunes and find that by looking up Book of Sorrows and just checking that out. I think the audio quality might be a little bit bad because that was back in 2009 or 10, and it wasn't as good as releasing an MP3 these days as opposed to then. But right now, the World of Arcanus, basically, I'm writing a story arc and writing the end, and I'm getting the players there however I need to get them there by throwing out bullet points of ideas. Eventually, they will get to where I need them to go. It just may take longer, but at least they are choosing the path that they go on. Now, I could easily grab a module out there of a series of campaigns strung together and lead them down that path, but I feel that it's not my original writing and not my original ideas. So when I don't like something, then it throws my mind off, and these people get bored. I just have the fear of people getting bored during a game, so that's why I never run these pre-made modules. And I always, while they're well written and I appreciate all the people that have done them, I always find them very dull to read. And if I find them dull to read, it's never going to come across as a great campaign. Though I have read some on the end, like the Paizo area, some of those adventure paths, they have like Second Darkness and things like that have some great ideas in them, but I just feel it's not going to work out overall. I don't know. Do you use ones that are pre-made, or do you make up your own? What is your go-to style as far as, do you like the homebrew inspiration, or do you like pre-made modules only? I know some DMs out there only will run pre-made, and I sat with a bunch of people when I was in high school that when they ran the games, it was only modules, and they would buy a module, run through the module, and then we wouldn't play again until the next module he was able to buy or something. Well, the DM would buy 3 in a row, and we'd only play those. There was never any real homebrew as far as his own type thing. I mean, he maybe added his own flavor to the game itself to keep us on track, but there was never any actual like homebrewing going on there, which is disappointing, because I do like to listen to other people's homebrew and how they run their games, as opposed to me just running mine and only having that as an example. Well, I'm going to head out of here for today. Hopefully you guys have some comments for me and maybe a voicemail. Go ahead to the anchor.fm/theevildm. Leave me a voicemail on their software. It's pretty easy to do, and I could play it right here on the podcast. Also, head over to iTunes and leave me a review. I know there's some people that use iTunes. It only takes a half a second to do that. You don't have to write a written review. Just a starred review is fine. I appreciate anything I get. So with that said, keep it original, keep it old school, and good night, everybody.